Hey, gang, it's Dominic DeAngelo. I'm going to move over so I look a little bit more scenic here. Hey to everybody. Yes, want to do a little special live episode just to give my thoughts. Just particularly, I'll talk more about the whole Elimination Chamber PLE on Rumor and Innuendo tomorrow and on the other podcast I do, with Magnum TA, Greg Gagne, all that stuff. But wanted to touch upon a specific aspect of this PLU, which we're all familiar with, the now infamous John Cena heel turn. My goodness, got a lot of buzz on social media, some big reactions and thoughts to it all. I've seen a lot of tweets, a lot of people getting really intense and happy about it and excited for it. And then I'm also seeing some interesting ones too that kind of give a different thought about it all. Overall, I'm excited to talk about it. We're live, not only on my X account, but RVD's X account. And speaking of RVD, I want you to go to onlywrestlers.com, sign up for Only Wrestlers. You can tune in and get RVD's live show that they're going to be doing in Los Angeles. One of the featured matches is going to be Brian Cage taking on Chris Masters in a never before matchup. So that's super cool. The fans voted on that, and you can vote on it too if you sign up for Only Wrestlers and get an account on there for free. You can sign up for free, but all you have to do to check out the show on March 20th is you can either go to it in Los Angeles or you subscribe to one of the Wrestlers Only Wrestlers page. And then you get it. And it's basically like $6.95 you subscribe, and boom, you get the show for free. So pretty darn cool. Rob's doing this really cool. It's a cool side thing that's looking to blow up pretty big and giving a platform for wrestlers to kind of do their own thing and have their own platform with the trusted guy and name in the business like Rob Van Dam. So you can't beat it. And Rob and I just recorded a new episode of One of a Kind with RVD on Friday. That new episode will be up tomorrow morning, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on your podcast feeds of choice and on rvdtv.com. So if you're tuning in live here, would love if you subscribed to OneTrueSportTV.com, which we're live on right now as well. We're on, like I said, the RVD X account. We're on my X account and the 1TS X account as well. So trying to think if I got to do any other housekeeping. If I remember, I will try to do some at the end of the show. Want your questions. If you have questions or anything like that, feel free to input them in. I see a lot of cool folks here in the chat. We got Triple E in the house. We got CB. Hi to Jen Vargo. Hi to Eddie Prather. Hi to everybody. CB's in the house too. Good to see him. And Ruin Nation also in there too, giving his input. So cool. Where did I want to start? I should have set this up a little bit better. But what I think I'm going to do, I will do a share screen, and you'll get to see a little bit of Only Wrestlers while I do that at the same time. So here it is. Hopefully you can see it. Yes, I do have it up there. So there's Only Wrestlers. Sign up for it right now. You can vote. Look, you can actually vote which city Only Wrestlers should pick to host their second live event. And there's some big names on there. Now, they don't show you the votes because you're not signed up, so they don't show you the amount of votes in there. But you can Philadelphia, Chicago, Nashville, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Los Angeles again, Houston, or Atlanta, Georgia. Take your pick. Sign up for onlywrestlers.com. Get that all checked out here. But was crazy amount of feedback when it comes to the what people thought of that John Cena heel turn. Did anybody think they saw it coming? Huh? Did you anyone happen to feel that John Cena's turn heel? Did you guys, anybody in the chat, think or predict that in their head while they were watching it? Should be pretty would love to see some feedback for that if anybody did think that. Thank you, Modern Apron. I appreciate that. Yes, this is terrible. Yes, I like the feedback. I always like the bad feedback because it's like somebody just decides to be like, all right, I'm going to say that this sucks and not give any reason. So it's just really funny. People go out of their way to say that stuff. It's just like, all right, I respect it in some form or fashion because it's just kind of funny. You're wasting your time in doing that. It's funny shit. Uh Joe Hendry versus a Super Cena. Ooh, that's interesting, Triple E. I never thought about it that. I never considered that. So that's pretty cool. But let's see here. So what I wanted to start with is there was some feedback when it comes to the Hogan heel turn. Not the Hogan heel turn, the Cena heel turn. Well, so I liked, first off, let me just say this. I liked that Cena won. I liked that he won the match against in the Elimination Chamber. I really did want to see CM Punk actually kind of win. Too. I thought it was cool that they teased these guys like going at one another. Like, we didn't really get a full-fledged fight between the two, a little bit, but nothing crazy. They didn't show you the whole thing. So we had the confrontation that Seth interrupted not once but twice, and so and Seth cost CM Punk the match, obviously. So interesting where they go with that. Talk about that more on a later time. But we end up Cena getting the win. That seems like a form of respect. They pull up the chamber, and Cody Rhodes comes out ready for his confrontation with The Rock. Cena embraces, or no, they shake hands. I think they just shake hands, and they seem excited. I'm like, okay, cool. I can get into this. I can get into a babyface Cena, babyface Cody. Don't think it really needs anything else. Like, I'm for this. And then you also have The Rock coming into play. Like, well, Cena, I was kind of thinking Cena's going to be the cool moral compass of this all because he's always remained the babyface. He's always kind of been that guy that would not turn. And so if Cody's tempted by The Rock, then wow, you could create a cool dynamic leading into WrestleMania for their match, maybe create some tension and see where you go with that and see how The Rock actually falls into place here. Like, is The Rock, now this is all the thoughts before the heel turn happened, but is The Rock going to wrestle? Is The Rock going to get physical in some form or fashion? What's going to happen? And what's Cody going to do? I always kind of thought Cody was not going to do this. I mean, you kind of think of how they build it up, hey, I'm going to take your soul. Saying that to somebody, it's kind of hard to take their soul when you tell them that. Like, it's almost like if you turn heel or evil, like somebody telling you that, like, that doesn't help your case in trying to take their soul. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what's going on? Why are you doing it? Like, why are you doing? Why are you telling me that? You shouldn't tell me that you're taking my soul. You should try to take my soul and then tell me after you took it, right? Like, that's kind of how I was thinking. So I'd never thought Cody was really gonna bend the knee to The Rock. And then you see him have the weight belt that had Dusty's Day to Death on there, and like all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, there's no way Cody's gonna do this. No way. And sure enough, that's what we got. So I think, okay. So let's go from where Rock, so Rock interrupts Cena and Cody, and then we get Travis Scott for some reason out there. Now, people are wondering, why is Travis Scott out there? And I thought it was weird too. I thought it was, but I can kind of understand it too at the same point. And here's why. Because if it's Cena, if it's Rock, and if it's Cody, it's a little bit more glaring that I think Cena would turn heel. I think if you had that fourth element of Travis Scott hanging out there, also kind of playing this weird bad guy role, just like kind of out of place and a little bit of a distraction, it keeps your focus more so. Why the heck is Travis Scott out here? And it makes it almost feel like what they kind of set up in the ring. Two bad guys, two good guys. So it kind of dissipates the idea in your head, or maybe subconsciously, that you're thinking, well, Cena's there. He feels the odd man out between The Rock and Cody right now. So I could see Cena turning heel. I think it lessened the telegraph that Cena was going to turn heel. So in that regard, I appreciate that. I think it was a savvy move. It was just weird. Travis Scott's in there. He's like a joint. Um, and yeah, it just felt very strange. Very strange. But I think I understood why they did it. So anywho, I just so Cody drops an F bomb to the Rock, says, yeah, go F yourself, Rock. And great pop. I loved the delivery of it all. I thought it did emphasize, like, wow, this is a tentpole moment for the road to WrestleMania. Here is Cody telling the Rock to go F himself. And so it kind of got you in that WrestleMania mode of, all right, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for what they're going to be laying down here. And then Cena's happy. Like Cena's, I said in the working stiff group chat that Cena's always got that, like, Marky Mark, New Kids on the Block kind of corny excitement that goes on. It's kind of like, it's like always been Cena's bag kind of thing, since he's been this the top babyface. Maybe not so much the Doctor of Thugonomics, but more so this version we're all used to seeing him as. So him doing that is like, all right, yeah, that's Cena, all right. I kind of liked it. And then Cena hugs Cody, and The Rock goes boom. And I like Cena's face, like the stone face, like Manchurian Candidate almost. Like he's just like, he's like, yep, I'm doing it. And sure enough, and the cool thing about that, I liked a lot, that I don't think I necessarily got a lot of play. Like people weren't, I don't know. I didn't like dive deep into what people's comments were on social media, but I think the really, really cool part about that is we saw what was going on, but Cody didn't. And Cena backs away, just kicks him straight in the balls. And there we go. Big time heel turn. Obviously, big time heel turn. Crowd's going crazy. Cody selling it really well. And then Cena and The Rock and Travis Scott beat the crap out of Cody for like a long time. A really long time. And they're brutal. Like they're vicious. Like especially Cena and stuff like that. And so, I think now, so overall, I'd say the reception and the feedback was very positive, and rightfully so. I mean, how long have we talked about Cena turning heel? Forever. And it seemed like he was never going to do it. And now with his final year in here, it seemed like, well, there's probably not a chance he will turn heel because this is his farewell tour. This is the end. So he's going to be done after this. So you want, you'd think Cena, you'd think everybody involved would just want to play the hits with Cena and then have some fresh matchups in certain ways while he goes away, while he says goodbye to everybody. So the aspect of him turning heel, like, really did not feel like a fit, especially since he's super duper part-time. Like, we don't see him hardly ever. And like, even right up until now, we haven't really seen him that much. So it's just like, yeah, let's get Cena, good guy Cena, just playing some hits, having some tension with Punk, having tension with some other guys, maybe mixing up with like other people that we haven't gotten to see him go up against in certain ways. Like Triple E mentioned Joe Hendry, and I think it was Triple E. And then, there's plenty of other fresh matchups that we would like to see Cena in. Hi, Hassan. How are you? What's up, Maria? Good to see you. Joe in the house too. Joe Mama. I like how I just assumed it was like an Italian last name, but it's just Joe Mama. So I'll get to your guys' comments here too a little bit, but I'm just kind of expressing my thoughts on it all. And so yeah, I know people, I won't spoil it, but people in the Working Stiff group chat had some fun thoughts on it that like this aspect. All right, this is where I'm going here. Who here is tired of hearing the term cinema when it comes to pro wrestling? Cinema. Ooh, it's such a highbrow term. Like the Oscars are tonight and we're getting cinema. And so tying it to pro wrestling is like, I understand, like, it's cool stuff. Like what WWE is doing right now is cool stuff. Like it's fun. I like it. I like what they've been doing with a lot of different things. And even like last year when they had Cody and Roman staring off at one another and at Georgia Tech football field, the stakes and the confrontation and everything like that felt like a big deal. And like I think that's kind of really where the cinema term took off in WWE. And now we get it like every time something big and dramatic happens. And it doesn't have to have any special like kind of video feel to it either. It's more just like big ringing competition with drama. Ooh, cinema. So it's getting pretty well worn, right? Long in the tooth a little bit, I would say. Um, and I don't want to call it cinema. I want to call it theater. Um, Shakespearean in certain ways. And here's why. Because Shakespeare, like wrestling, was for everybody. Like Shakespeare was not for like the highfalutin folks. Like there was the groundlings. People would go to Shakespeare like from all different types of classes, like the lower peasants, like just the groundlings, right? And so like like Cena, he doesn't necessarily do cinema. Like I know he's a movie star, I know all this stuff, but like Cena as a wrestling character, you get a lot of cornball with Cena, right? Like we're just used to that. It's like at the time when he was at his peak, like of top of the card, always wrestling, and the champ, like it got him a lot of heat. Like the Cena sucks, like those chants and stuff like that when people wanted him to turn heel, but he wasn't gonna. And then like, then Cena would bring out some stuff that would be like, oh, okay, well, this is some stuff we can see. We saw him go toe to toe with The Rock verbally, like in like 2011, 2012. So we've seen him do some stuff, but Cena's always been Cena. And like, there is that aspect of pro wrestling that's such theater because you're in the ring, you've got to make things bigger. You got to make what you do bigger. You're playing to an audience. Now, granted, you have television, so you are playing to a TV audience. But in the grand scheme of it all, you're in front of a live crowd. You are not just playing to the first few rows. You're playing to all the way up in the nosebleeds. You're playing to everybody. If you're in a WrestleMania, you're playing to a stadium. Thankfully, there's a big screen that you can watch too. But it is more theater than it is cinema. And I think the neat thing about pro wrestling is you can have that kind of coincide with one another. Like if you want some more nuance when it comes to your pro wrestling, maybe you watch somebody like a CM Punk. And that's why CM Punk was so great 2011 to what we saw with Cena, because CM Punk added some subtlety to it. Even Batista early on, like during his feud with Triple H, he's still young at, the game and everything like that, pun not intended. But, there would be little backstage segments where you could see like, this Batista guy, he's good looking, he's big, but he's got a little bit of acting chops too. And so he always brought a little bit of subtlety in certain things. But in the grand scheme of it all, pro wrestlers are not like well-crafted thespians. Batista's maybe the closest one that has reached that kind of like, ooh, this guy's got some acting chops and stuff like that. So it's just like, but everybody else is there. They're wrestlers. There's like, I don't want to say it's bad acting because I don't think it is. I think it's just wrestlers acting, and sometimes you do get that bad acting with if the person can't portray themselves well, or they're not being organic, but it's there, and it's just like it's in your face. And so Cena, either way, you're gonna get, if you're getting a babyface Cena, you're getting a little cornball. If you're getting a heel Cena, probably gonna get a little bit of cornball. We kind of got some of that, just his facials and stuff like that, a little over the top. I liked it, and I like this heel turn. Now, I mean, the thing I I loved it. I thought I'm excited for it. I'm excited for what they're gonna build towards WrestleMania, what they're doing. This creates a fun element. It's gonna be neat to see Cena on this ride. Plus, in the same fashion, I think I don't know the details, like behind the scenes or anything to that effect. But I mean, like, you hear like The Rock came SmackDown like a week ago, and not a lot of notice, but there must have been some sort of plan in place to the vibe of The Rock has a plan. And part of that plan must have involved Cena, obviously. Now, Cena being willing to turn heel, I could kind of look at Cena as being like, yeah, you know what? This is my farewell tour. I'm not like all into wrestling anymore. I'm back. I want to say goodbye to the fans, but I want to have a little bit of fun and maybe do something different. And in the same turn, do the favors for somebody. How about we do it with Cody Rhodes and make myself a heel? Like, I don't know how much, maybe they just pitch it to Cena, and Cena maybe just thought about all that stuff and like, yeah, it could make sense to me. And Cena's such a student of the game. He's always been appreciative of the people that came before him. Like, I wish I remembered some names that he approached that I've heard in the past, like behind the scenes, and expressed his respect for them. Like, even guys that were not like super duper big names, like he would do this, he would tip the cap to them. And so like, this is kind of part of Cena's bag, is he's like, I'm willing to do the favors for Cody here and like pass the torch, so to speak. We're getting that Rock Hogan element of 2002 WrestleMania 18, Toronto, oddly enough. So yeah, I really like this, and I'm for it. I like, some people are just like, first, and I understand like that notion of it all, and like certain things like that. But I am for this. It's something different. It makes it fun. It's something that we want to see. I think it's like, yeah, long overdue if Cena was going to turn heel, but why not? Why not? Like, why not do it? I don't think you're hurting anything. I think you're elevating Cody a lot in the way. I think a big concern of this all is if even like, I like the aspect of babyface Cena and babyface Cody, but even if you have that and then you have The Rock into play, Cody still feels like, what's he doing here? Like, he might feel third in the rankings almost. Here you have Cody being the lone babyface in this game, like here between these three. And so there you go. Cody's automatically elevated by that. So I like that. Let's take a couple questions before I touch upon the Hogan side of things here. CB says, Dom, should John Cena have new entrance music? No, he is a heel. So I think you're just asking if John should have new entrance music. Yeah, I think he should. You could do something cool. You could definitely figure something out. Let's see. I thought about this too, Eddie. Cena needs his Doctor of Thugonomics music. That would be cool, but people like that song. So it's like, are you really getting the heel heat you need from that? I'd like, he brought that out for WrestleMania one year when he came out in the Babe Ruth jersey, which I thought was sweet. But yeah, so I don't know though. I don't know how I would handle that, the new music, but I think he should get new music. Let's see here. I was okay with it because it's on Peacock. It's a PLE. It's not on like USA. It's not on even. I mean, you could have done that on Netflix too, but I liked it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Eddie. Travis Scott was in the Dennis Rodman role, right? Like, he was a distraction in a weird way, but still an effective way, I thought. Let's see. Trying to just make sure. I want to make sure I cover things that people ask on here. Joe Mama says, Ric Flair said previously he'd been world champ more times than he can count, and Jerry Lawler been world champion was 100 times. So Cena, I don't. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing is though, it's pro wrestling, so like you're gonna put over your product, you're gonna put over your narrative, and so like if you're like you're splitting hairs in a lot of ways, because it's just like, Yeah, there's probably some technicalities like how many championships have been won and things like that. You can really probably get real technical about it. But I mean, you're thinking about Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair's the guy that held those many championships. He's kind of the standard bearer. And then from the WWE landscape, who, holds all the strings here, they Cena's their guy. So that's kind of what that makes sense for. Another nobody doing a wrestling pod. So original. Thanks. Oh my God. Is that Captain Caveman? Is that who that is in your thing? All right. Yeah, why not? Let's see here. Dom, if John Cena wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, should he hold it for the year? I could heel turn. I had it between Cena and Punk. Oh, I called the heel turn. I had it between Cena and Punk. Don't know if he should hold it for the year. But maybe. Yeah, I think the story could warrant it. Let's see. All right. Before I get into anything else, Cena is one of 4 or 5 generational talents representative of an entire time period of wrestling. Cody needs the mountain to climb. Yeah, Andrew, I'm with you. Andrew Hermes, he's going to be going live with Medusa on her channel at 8 p.m. and they're going to be talking about all the particularly the Cena heel turn. So you can get Medusa's perspective on there. So Modern Caveman, if you want somebody that's not a nobody, Medusa is not a nobody, and you can get her perspective. How about that? Let's see here. Maddie, my boy Maddie. Dude, I have to watch it again because it was such a jaw-dropping moment. Look, I really liked it. I liked it a lot. And I do. I think it's a historic moment in pro wrestling, obviously. It's I think it's a really, really cool deal. Did the heel turn who dat for life, Chris? Did the heel turn dawn on you as early as it did for me? Because I smelled it soon as Cena didn't have to have a qualifying match for the chamber. No, it didn't. I thought it was like kind of heelish in a way. I don't think it was helpful that Cena was just like, yeah, I'm just going to put myself in the chamber. I thought Michael Cole did an all right job at kind of defending Cena, like, oh, he's earned it, things like that. Punk then pushed back, though, which is cool now. You think about it, too. Like, hey, you just called your shot here. I'm going to earn my way and stuff like that. So I thought that was a different way to take it. Let's see. Yeah, Andrew says it. Go F yourself was the perfect answer. He had to beat his chest. Yes, I agree. Eddie Prather says Lawler was a one-time world champ. So there you go. Let's see. Dom, did you hear that Steve Austin said he would be a hand for Cody if needed at WrestleMania? Interesting. I did not see that. That would be cool. That would be super cool, right? Cena, The Rock, Austin, and Cody. Holy smokes. Yeah, that'd be sweet, super sweet. Jacob says, I'm still trying to comprehend what happened last night. Jade attacking Naomi while Bianca's watching and John Cena heel turn. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Jade on this one, but man, that was cool. I like that too. I'm excited for that. I think they amped up the women's division here coming forth for WrestleMania in so many ways. Eddie says, oh, yeah, I think that's a good point. I think Cena will be back at being a babyface right after Survivor Series. So, Brian Clark, is this the real Adam Bomb? It's not Make-A-Wish, it's Break-A-Wish. Always welcome, real Brian Clark. How about that? Oh, cool. It is. Hey, we got Adam Bomb in the house. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Hell yeah. All right. I was a big Wrath fan, and I also like Adam Bomb as well. Chronic, baby. All right. Cool. Okay, so here's the teaser I had for the thumbnail and everything like that. It comes to Cena. Did the Cena heel turn equal the Hogan heel turn? If you look on social media, if you look at Twitter and the fan reception, people think that it was. And you can certainly make the comparisons. You can, obviously. Big-time baby faces that were established baby faces that you could never fathom turning heel. That happened. happened in a big on a pay-per-view or PLE. Both happened on that. You know, both did it unexpectedly, surprisingly. I think that's though where the comparisons end and where it is. I don't want to say unfair, but I don't think Cena's heel turn. Cena's heel turn is nothing in comparison to how big the Hogan heel turn was. And there's a lot to be said about that because Hogan's heel turn, if you do the math, Hogan was still wrestling. Now, Hogan, from a lot of criticism perspective, was maybe on the downturn. No, I would not say that, I guess. Not for Hogan. He was more just the character was getting stale. The character was getting stale, this baby face. Fans were sinking into it. They're looking for something different. Hence the outsiders showing up. My boy Scott Hall. And everything to that effect. And then, so Hogan was still in wrestling. Hogan was still an active component to the whole puzzle piece of pro wrestling. He was just in WCW and not in WWE. So he's there. He's one of their top names. Now, Cena, he's saying goodbye. All right. Cena has been out of wrestling on a consistent basis for what? Is it 7 years now? Maybe less than that. Yeah, that's about right, right? About 7 years. More than that, maybe 8 years. He has not been a full-time wrestler for that long. And so Cena's been out of wrestling. So, and Cena's older. Like, if you were to do the math, I don't know how old Hogan was when he turned heel. 1996, he's my dad's age. So 53, he was born in 53. So 1996 to 1953, 1950. Oh, why am I horrible at math? God, putting 43. So, okay, I guess they're kind of the same. You know, Cena might be a little older than Hogan at that point when he turned heel. But yeah, it's still nonetheless, Hogan was an active wrestler. He's still doing the thing. So, and Cena's been basically not officially retired, but he's basically out of wrestling. So and Cena was wrestling up until this point for years on end. The Hogan Cena character kind of felt stale for a while, right? So Hogan turning heel, it was just a new coat of paint because he's around the outsiders. And so him finally making that dive, turning heel, you saw that fan reception. Andreas Hale, who I'm a big fan of, follow him on social media. He's a big boxing guy, MMA guy too. Does excellent work. Works for ESPN. One of my greatest friends in the business, I would say. I always like seeing him and stuff like that, and I hope to see him in Vegas for WrestleMania. But he made that point too, and he was just like. Then he showed the video of Hogan's heel turn, an image. He showed an image of it. All the trash in the ring. Fans were crying that Hogan turned heel. Fans were visibly upset that Hogan turned heel. Eddie says Hogan was stale in 1990. As a 5-year-old, I did not think he was stale at all. Like as a 5-year-old, I thought he was at the top of the game still. So I did not see any downturn at Hogan in 90. But to Eddie's point, I mean, look, they transitioned him not too far off. They tried to put the belt on Warrior at that point, Vince did. So yeah, there's a lot to that. You know, Hogan's character, I'm sure, felt stale to a lot of older fans at that point, you know? So the reception that Hogan has got is so much bigger in comparison to the Cena turning heel right now. This is more feels like, boom, part of a story, what Cena is doing right now. While what Hogan did felt industry changing. And it was industry changing. This is a story that's really intriguing and exciting, but it's not industry changing, right? This is John Cena's farewell tour. So we're getting a cool story to go along for the ride with John Cena. That should, I'm sure, have its awesome moments and exciting moments. And I think, too, we're going to run into some speed bumps. But that's pro wrestling, right? That's theater. All right. Let's take a few comments here, and then I'm going to close it on out here. Pops, big hat tip to Brian Clark popping on it. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Let's see. Hogan, Commander Luke says Hogan should have never lost the title to Warrior. Hulkster even said the same thing. I mean, in hindsight's 2020, and yeah, I would agree with that. But I mean, Vince was trying to cover his bases and trying to look for new stars, and so Warrior seemed like a fit. But if you understand how Warrior handled himself, he was not probably the best fit. But people like the Warrior, so it did make sense in that regard. And I know I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. It probably sounds like. Let's see. And Eddie says Warrior was more over than Hogan at the time too. And Andrew also agrees Warrior was white hot. So yeah, you got to strike while the iron's hot here. I mean, you look at. I actually made this comparison in the group chat. Was Harley Cameron is the AWA Hogan in AEW right now, because it felt like they should have put the TBS title on her against Mercedes Moné, and they didn't at Slam Australia, and they didn't. And they're at the time, Hogan's fighting Bockwinkel, felt like it was time to put the title on Hogan, and they didn't. So interesting stuff. I think that might do it for me. Oh, this is great. I like this comparison, Lloyd. This has more of a feel of an Andre heel turn and then a WrestleMania 3 type feel. Perfect. I like that a lot. I think that's the closest analogy I think we've gotten so far. I think that's a great way to put it. It is. Like Andre on the downturn of his career, clearly at the end, and get some mileage out of what he's doing. Maybe Cena's considering that too. Maybe The Rock was thinking about that too. Really, really great point, Lloyd. Holy smokes. Yes, I like that one. When the Hulkster drops that big leg, the opponent is done. Yeah, so. Oh my God, the flash paper was such a miss. Holy smokes. My goodness. Yeah, that they should never have that WCW match. I will say, though, as a 13-year-old and seeing the Warrior return against, there's the NWO in play, I was super excited. Super excited for the Warrior to show up. It felt like really big time. I remember Degenerate Brother Marcus and I, we went to the Ridgeway Fireman's Carnival, which is an annual thing, Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. And it was Monday night, obviously. But we taped Nitro. And I remember going back and watching it and on tape and being like, oh, the Warrior's there. Who's that? Did the Disciple show up too that night? I can't remember if he did or not. But I did not realize that was Brutus Beefcake either. I did not realize. I was like, who the hell is that guy? I did not know who the Disciple was. But either way, that was fun. This has been fun. I might have to try to do this stuff a little bit more. Just give my thoughts on stuff. I did not expect to go 40 minutes either. My game plan was to do 20 minutes and that's it. But I liked a lot of the feedback I'm getting in here. And yes. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to OneTrueSportTV.com. Help support that channel and get the word out. Also, like I said, sign up for Only Wrestlers. Go to OnlyWrestlers.com. Sign up now. Set up an account. And you can just search for free. And kind of also, too, you can subscribe to Rob Van Dam's, subscribe to his channel for free. You can subscribe to Katie Forbes' channel for free. But then if you sign up for a Brian Cage or a Chris Masters or a Bill Alfonso, you will get their pay-per-view for free on March 20th. You can check it out streaming live. They have a commentary team, which is cool. Oh my gosh, who is it? It's a neat tandem that they have. Two notable names that are on the commentary behind it. Oh, yeah, that's who it is. My gosh. Why am I blanking on his name right now? It is the librarian from AEW. He's on the call. It should be a lot of fun. Check it out. JCW too. Violent J will be there. It's gonna be a cool show. So check it out. I'm excited to check it out too. So sign up, onlywrestlers.com. Check out One of a Kind with RVD tomorrow, rvdtv.com. Be sure to support Andrew Hermes. Go to Medusa's YouTube channel. they're going to be talking about this. So it'll be a good follow up. You'll get to hear what Medusa thinks about that heel turn and everything like that. So tune in there and get some stuff cooking. Help support some folks. Elimination Chamber was fun. Catch me tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time on Rumor and Innuendo. Robert Karplis and I will be going live on the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channel, but also we'll be live on Ad Free Shows YouTube, and we'll be live on X as well. So help support us that way too. Shout out to Robert. Should be a fun discussion. I don't even know what his thoughts are on the heel turn yet. He's in the group chat, but he kind of he goes off the grid when he's not able to watch. So he'll catch up and watch later. I don't even know what he thinks about all of it. So should be good stuff. Let me see. All right. Yeah, that'll do it for this one. I appreciate people tuning in. Always appreciate the feedback, even if it's just veiled criticism that has no constructive criticism. I like anything. I get a kick out of it all. So thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you next time here on OneTrueSportTV.com and on RVDTV.com, Network.com too. See you guys next time. Roll Tide? I'll say Roll Tide. Why not?